Oh, I'm muted. There it is. Hey, what's up, Washington? Let's go. We were talking about the Commanders today. It's the Commanders episode. Another team that we've seen in the past that's just been struggling. Um, Guys, they've made some moves. They've made some moves. I'm happy to see that they're making moves, but the moves that they're making is very questionable. Um, Again, the last past few years, 2021. Let's just talk about like the history of the Washington has been in a very, say, embarrassment from ownership. Last few years, we've changed. We've made some moves to get someone in the office to replace that embarrassment, and hopefully, with the new adjustments, everything can be a little bit better. I'm happy to see what they're doing. I'm happy to see that a lot of things are no longer there. Obviously, with Josh Harris there, we'll see what happens there. Um, they're putting a lot of trust in this guy. So, but as this staff has gone in, General Manager Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, they've made some. They brought them in. They've made some uh free agent signings per se and the moves that they're making, but these, like I said, it's very questionable, very interesting on who they brought in. It's a lot of well-known names that we are kind of worried on if they still have it left in the tank. I mean, obviously, for starters, Austin Eckler. I mean, what can I say about him? I mean, he's wasn't involved very much as a pass catcher last year with the Chargers. So let's hope that that kind of rebounces with the Commanders. And I'm also looking at the defense that they brought in. They brought Bobby Wagner, um, Dante Fowler's a big one. Frankie Louvu. So linebacker has been one of those key components that we've been struggling at. We've drafted people theirs. They haven't been able to do anything. We're bringing in people for the win. It seems like, but the problem is we don't know how long they're going to be there for. Um, I understand some of these were extended contracts that stay for multiple years, but again, do they have anything left in the tank? So, it's like I I understand it's a big risk. For instance, Bobby Wagner, 34. We've all expecting him to retire here soon, but it just hasn't happened. He's still playing just as good as every year he always does. I for one, I rely on this guy on my IDP leagues. I think it was a 8.5 million for the 1 year. Um, so, I mean, I know he played in the 3-4 base. So, if they stay with the 3-4 with Dan Quinn, which who he has done with Dallas, which I do believe they're going to stick to, he should be productive still. So, I'm not like not too worried about him as what like as much for production for the year. It's more of longevity for me on that. So, let's see how well he does there. He's playing with Seattle his entire career. Then he played with the Rams for the 1 year. Still was productive, so it didn't even matter. Went back to Seattle for one more year. Still was productive. And if he goes to Washington and is productive there, it wouldn't surprise me. The man gets it done. So, um, he's going to be that leader already. Like as soon as day one he walks into the door. So good for him. Good for the Washington Commanders. I'm happy for that. As for the offensive side, um, things got a little weird with Antonio Gibson. They didn't re-sign him, so he's gone. They still have Brian Robinson there, which is good. I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch with both these guys. If you're drafting them in Dynasty, for me, I would go for Robinson. That's just how I feel about you know this case scenario of the two running backs here. But if you already have Eckler, I mean, your window to trade him was a few years ago. You can see how difficult it was even last year to trade him. This year you couldn't trade him. Um, so what makes you think next year you're gonna be able to trade him? You just can't. Like on the Commanders roster with him, you know, being as used up as he was his entire career, I don't know how productive it's gonna be. Um, he had big detrimental loss for his numbers, so we'll see. What's up, Anthony? Isn't it crazy? Every mock draft Washington is as number one. Yeah, no, and I don't. It's because you guys been struggling. Like they haven't been able to figure it out this year. Um, like I said, they brought in Bobby Wagner, and yeah, he was, but his which is crazy. His rookie year, it was just I don't know what happened. Um, but outside those two, they brought in Marcus Mariota, they brought in Zach Ertz, Dante Fowler, which I mentioned, Frankie Louisville as well. I mentioned Jeremy Chin's another one, and then they also brought in center Tyler Bides. So it's they're bringing in people to help, and again, it's Zach Ertz is another risky guy for the 1 year 5 million. It's a low kind of like offer, and I think he's gonna be fine if he stays healthy. Good, like he's a really good player. I'm not gonna lie, I really like him, but he's also kind of older, and also he's not a spring chicken anymore. So if he can stay healthy, he's gonna be very good to this offense. Frankie Lou, who I just mentioned, is going to be a very good asset. Bobby's always done well with another good, decent linebacker. Look at Jordan Brooks. He's always kind of there. What's up? How are we? What's up, Born Tua? We're talking about Washington today. So, yeah. So again, this team has what it takes, but the problem is all the other teams are probably just better right now. At some point, you know, they just they just have been developing better in that division. That's what I'm talking about. So with Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, uh, Zach Ertz, Dante Fowler, and Frankie Luvo, like all these guys, and Jeremy Chin. I like Jeremy Chin. I'm really hoping that we have another good year of him. He is such a good player. I think what happened with Jeremy Chin in Carolina is something that was a coaching thing. They changed the way they were playing them in Carolina, and he wasn't as productive in the last 2 years. The defense changed, but his rookie year is a different coordinator, and he was so good his rookie year. Now I'm hoping that this is a revamp for him, and I'm hoping that he stays there. He's a very good player. He played very good nickelback. He played that linebacker role slash safety. Kind of in the center. So we'll see how that goes. But again, the Commanders for the last 3 years, they went 7-10. Wasn't that great? They had a rotating quarterbacks in the last 3-4 years, and they haven't been able to keep a single guy there. And then at the later, it was another washer. They went 8-8. Nothing. I don't know. And then after those 2 years, it just seems like everybody left. They couldn't keep anybody money wise or something. I don't know what it was, but nobody wanted to sign, or they traded everyone away last year, and they went 4-13. So they had this trending roll of going up, right? But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Instead, they went down, which put them at the 2 spot. And what they do with the 2 spot? Well, obviously, the biggest issue is they didn't have anybody at the helm for the last couple years. Um, so they brought in Jaden Daniels, who I really like. He was one of my favorite QBs coming in. So um, again, they're bringing him in. It's a new staff. It's a new system. Let's hope that it turns around, and in 2024 it's just new. It's a breath of fresh air. I hope that they get 8 wins, at least, maybe 9, but I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Like, I haven't looked at the schedule yet. You know me. I'm gonna wait till the schedule towards the end of the episode, and we're going to talk about that later on. And with the help of you guys, if you guys want to throw your input in there as well, we're going to do a community collective average, and then we're going to throw it in our yearly cycle or yearly prediction of the uh, playoffs. So yeah, sorry about that. Um, so yeah, obviously the most needed position that they needed was quarterback. They brought in Jaden Daniels from LSU. Um, so good. Like all I'm saying is that that's good with all these additional weapons. Hopefully, they can be some type of force to continuously grow off of what they're building here. So besides the free agents, the rookies that they brought in, they had a lot. They had some pretty good picks. Um, I think 6 of them were pretty much in the top 100. So let me bring in my overlay. That way you see what I'm seeing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so 6 of them were in the top 100. Ideally, that's good. You're gonna bring in some like top 100 guys are probably like most talented guys. Obviously, Jim Daniels. Um, we just talk about him bringing him in. Then they run friggin' Johnny Newton, who they got on a very good steal. They got lucky. I don't know how, but he snuck all the way to 36, and this guy was supposed to be in the top 20th picks of the draft. So the fact that he snuck all the way down to 36, good for you guys. That is a key key component to what you guys need there with that defensive line. Um, it changed last year after they traded basically the entire line away. Um, then they brought in a corner, which was a trade. Mike Santro from Michigan, so he should also be a good asset. Ben Sinnott, obviously, a good tight end, could learn a lot from Zach Ertz, and also maybe I think Bates is kind of there as well. So we'll see if they do anything there. Um, I think they have another veteran tight end there. Is it Rogers? Think it's Rogers, right? Yeah. So, and then we a guard, Brandon Coleman, and then Luke McCaffrey, which was an interesting pick. I felt like that was more of like okay, um, he was I mean, he was the best receiver at the time. I was hoping that they'd probably get somebody a little bit sooner, but Luke McCaffrey, I mean, he's not his dad, he's not his brother, but he is a McCaffrey. But he is going to probably end up being that third, maybe fourth receiver. I guarantee you. He's good enough to climb up the boards. He's not going to be better than uh Jahan Dotson or McLaurin. Obviously, those guys are definitely the 1-2. McCaffrey could be the 3, but we'll see with the addition of these other receivers that they brought in from the previously. So from Philadelphia as well. I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, Jordan McGee, linebacker at Temple, Dominic Hampton out of Washington, and Javante Jean Baptiste out of Notre Dame. So they brought in some depth. They brought in some guys that actually going to be very good. These first 6 guys um should make an impact right away. Now, as for Dynasty goes, we'll see. Um, we'll see how Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury uses them and Joe Witt. Obviously, those are the main guys. They're going to be running this team. They're going to be. Uh, let's see how well they click. And again, it's a new staff. These guys, I don't think they've ever worked together before. Uh, but they are good in their own way. I'm not a big fan of Cliff Kingsbury. I've seen what he does. I don't know how it's gonna go, but he does have winning seasons in other teams but also in college and also with the Arizona Cardinals. Um, Dan Quinn, I feel like is more focused when he's a defensive coordinator than he is a head coach. But there is the argument that he did bring the Falcons to a Super Bowl. However, that year it was a little weird. People forget that he was running both defense and head coach. And it just brings a lot of stress to a guy doing both jobs. So we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of questions here. There's a lot of what ifs here, and there's a lot of let's hope here. Um, so I'm not trying to be mean on these guys because I like watching these guys, but we're running on hopes and dreams right now. Okay, a lot of hopes and dreams, but it's possible. We've seen teams run off hopes and dreams and still make it. So here's the offense here. Um, Obviously Marcus Mariota backing up Jaden Daniels. He's starting right away. Yes, that's going to happen. And then you got Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, and Chris Rodriguez is still kind of just chilling there. Um, Anthony, if you say Gibson to Mr. Fumble, like Rodriguez is fumbleitis. Okay, like that guy cannot hold the ball to save his life. So there's that. Then you got Zach Ertz, Ben Sinnott, and I was right. Armani Rogers and Cole Turner. Jesus. Um, Last year from the 5th round. So the tight ends they have it's I'm not gonna say that it's a worrisome aspect anymore. They have like 3 or 4 good ones that are possibly gonna be in the end zone. So I'm not too worried there. It was another health issue with the tight ends there every year. Once Logan was gone, it was like, "Oh, crap. Who's next in line? Who are we gonna bring? Who's gonna be just as good?" They never had that. At least with Zach Ertz there and Ben Sinnott and Amani, like that, they have something there. Um, So as for Wiley, Cosme, Betis, and Lucas, they're going to be very good assets there in the line, protecting Jane Daniels. This line isn't. It's it still needs work. It's good, but it still needs work. I hopefully Coleman can come in and help out a little bit. Obviously that they got these guys. They brought the center from Dallas, so it again a lot of what ifs. Um, and who's Jaden Daniels throwing to? McLaurin, Dotson, McCaffrey, Diami Brown, who's very good. Jamison Crowder still lingering around, and Zacchaeus out of Philadelphia. That's the guy I was trying to figure out. So again, uh, I just hope the best for these guys. Hang on, let me see if I could get for the Commanders defense right now. Sorry, my bad. And here we go. Oops. Lost my. Jesus. There we go. All right. There it is. There it is. Okay. All right. Why is it not? There we go. Holy crap. All right. So defense. Again, these top tiered guys are all in the almost secondary. You got Jeremy Chin, who should make a good impact. Derek Forrest, who surprised the hell out of us. And then you have Bobby Wagner, Luvo, Farrell, Allen Payne, and Armstrong. The line's going to be that one key factor where Newton's going to just come in. I think he's going to come in right away and just smash heads like right off the bat. I don't see the line being too pass heavy, like pass rush heavy. Deron Payne can get it done. Like, don't get me wrong, and Armstrong's very good. The issue is can oop, can they make this happen with Dan Quinn coming in, figuring things out? Because I have a feeling he's going to take over again. Like that's just the way he runs. As a head coach, I've seen him do it. But he's such a good defensive minded guy that it wouldn't surprise me if Jeremy Chin becomes the main focus there, or if Bobby Wagner becomes the main focus there. Dan Quinn has this weird eye for defense that he picks a guy and runs with it, and they become one of the best assets to IDP. And if you don't know what IDP is, it's individual defensive players. For Dynasty, like I'm kind of staying away from Jeremy Chin to see what he does. I'm not wasting like a third round pick or higher on him. I might go after him for like a later round pick, fourth or fifth. Um, we're just gonna see, and hopefully he does something. Um, I know with Jeremy Revis there, Dominic Hampton and Tyler Owens, like they could easily make a splash and get in as well. Um, but the linebacker core, Jamin Davis, Michael Walker, Bobby Wagner, and Frankie Lugo, um, very good team, I would say. That is a very good team. Michael Walker, um, actually came out of Pittsburgh. Wasn't he original with the Falcons? Pretty sure he was originally a Falcon. And that's how he ended up with yep, I was right. So he was a Falcon. Um, and I remember him actually doing pretty good there. So uh the key pick I like, you might be surprised off Benson. It adds depth because Zach Ertz is going to be interesting here. If he stays healthy, they'll ride Benson as a secondary tight end. They could go double tight towards the end, the end zone. I really do like what they do have here for weapon wise. But again, for Dynasty, I'm grabbing Frankie Louisville. Jamin Davis might still be a good asset here. And then, you know, Jonathan Allen. I'm not gonna waste too high of a pick on this D line. Maybe Deron Payne. But I'm not gonna give anything higher than a second or a third for Payne. They're productive, I get it, but you can always find defensive line everywhere else. Ben Sinnott could be interesting, but he's not going to be on your starting lineup right away. And more than likely, I'm going to taxi this guy to see how well they use him after this year. Because he could be that guy that they kind of look to and be like the main weapon of choice here. Because if John Dotson gets blocked out and McLaurin might be injured, and Zach Ertz, who knows if he's even there next year, Sanat might be the guy. So we'll see. If you have punt return or kick return yards, I would suggest getting Diami Brown out of waivers. Because he's pretty good at it. He's very productive at that choice. So again, it still needs work. I don't think Commanders are going to do anything fancy yet. Honestly, I think next year they're going to need a little bit more help getting fresh legs, younger. Um they brought in a lot of used, banged up dudes that still have some left in the tank, but it's not going to be for very long. Like obviously Zach Ertz probably gone. Austin Eckler probably gone. Bobby Wagner probably gone. So it's like it's just for this year. So it's like if they're thinking of winning this year, I don't know. I don't know. But speaking of that, out of dynasty wise, I'm still grabbing some of those guys. Just again for this year, they're going to be productive. But I don't think they're gonna be on the roster very long. But we'll see. You never know if they stick around. But let's get into the schedule. As we do towards the end, and then we'll make a our playoff picture towards the end of these schedules. We're basically having an episode almost every day. So here's the rest of the schedule tomorrow. Excuse me. Tomorrow we're doing the Patriots. Again, if it's either probably gonna be midday between Mountain Standard Time between 12 and 5 in the afternoon of Mountain Standard Time. So I'll try and go on. Like I said, I was a little bit earlier than yesterday, today for this episode. Tomorrow I might go on slightly earlier, but we'll see. But we'll have it though. We'll have it. At least I will be here. If the guys jump in and help me out, awesome. If not, whatever. It's fine. This is what we do. But tomorrow we're doing the Patriots, and then back on Monday, um, we're gonna kick it off with the Cardinals, the Chargers, and the Giants. And that's the schedule. We're gonna do the overview, and then we're gonna kind of give our scenario. So Anthony, if you're still here, let's go over the schedule. I'll trade Austin before the trade. Yeah, yeah. No, I think I would do too. But the problem is, I mentioned that's going to be a very difficult. You're going to have to trade it for very cheap. No one's going to want that guy. No one even wanted him last year when he was on the Chargers. It was just it's hard to get an aging running back that, yes, he's still productive, or that we still know him by the name and he could be productive. But the issue is we don't know how much value you're going to get for the rest of the year. That's my issue. So if you can somehow manage to trade him before the trade deadline, perfect. I would take anything they'll offer and maybe swing a higher pick, but that's going to be a very hard pick to sell. Okay, so as for the Washington Commanders, preseason, not even worry about it. But we're kicking it off with the Panthers, and then we're going to Chicago Bears, both home, and we're going to the Giants, Tennessee, um, not Tennessee, my bad. The Steelers. Holy crap, I skipped the whole line. The Cardinals, the Browns, the Ravens, then the Panthers. My bad. So again, I try not to look at these schedules until I do these episodes. That way I can see what these are. I know the schedule's already come out. I try to stay away from them so bad. Just because I want my actual, like, raw intended feeling on how I think they're gonna do this year. So preseason was Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, my bad. Then we start with the Bucks. So Bucks, New York. Then they have a prime time with the Bengals. Man, that's not looking hot right there. I don't think they beat the Bengals or the Bucks. The Giants they could probably beat. The Bengals I don't think they'll beat. The Cardinals I don't think they beat. The Browns I don't think they beat. Ravens I don't think they beat. They could beat the Panthers probably. Maybe, hopefully. The Bears don't think they beat. The Giants, I'll say they split with them maybe, right? The Steelers, nope. Eagles, nope. The Cowboys, nope. Tennessee, third win right there, right? Is that number 3? Saints, maybe, just because but late in that year. Quarterback wise is gonna be weird for the Saints. And it's in New Orleans. Let me go back through this. So Bucks. So you got the Giants. You could sweep the Giants. Could sweep the Giants. Beat the Panthers. This is a tough one, man. Anthony, what do you got, man? I'm gonna go. Let me look at the schedule easier. Get rid of that tab. Oh my gosh. I see 6. 6, man. I think you can sweep the Giants. Giants beat us because of Barkley, but now he's gone. Yeah, I think because they are also in shambles as well. So I see that. I see 6 as well. You say 6 or 7? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You also say 7. Say Giants sweep. That's 2 wins right there. Panthers, Titans. The Saints. And you're going to sneak in a win somewhere. Somewhere there, you guys are going to sneak a win. I think you guys are going to sneak a win somewhere in this area towards the beginning. And it could be the Cardinals because they mess up towards the beginning. I'm going to give you 6 by luck, 5 by heart, but 6 by luck. I don't know if they go 7. That's too bold of a statement for me. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with 6. We'll go with 6. So yeah, that's that's still a better upgrade from last year. Okay, that's still a way better upgrade from last year. Just because of what they've been doing, losing literally everybody. As we do every year. Let me put this up. Get rid of that. See if you guys can even see this. Nope, wrong one. Holy crap. All right. We're going to add the Washington Commanders at 6. We're going to give it 6. I think I think 6 seems fair for I just can't see freaking 7, man. I might not want. I can't see 7. I'll say 6 here. We're going to fill up this board and we're going to continue going with every team. As we're doing a show almost every day. They're going to be roughly between 30 to 45 minutes long, these episodes. So, again, stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to do New England Patriots. But Anthony, surprise beat Arizona Falcons. If the Eagles get injured, I can see. Yeah, there's going to be. And you're not wrong with the 6 or 7. I kind of agree here. I just because the Cardinals are also maybe in that 6 or 7 room. So when we get to the Cardinals here, we'll see if we come back and say if they actually beat the Commanders. But that's going to be because at the beginning of the year, what was it, week 4 or 5 or something like that. So it's like week 4 or 5, I believe. So I think what's going to happen week 4. It's going to be week 4 and they're going to be still figure out themselves. Healthy team. Oh man. That could be the win. That could be the 6th or 7th win. Yeah. I'm going to say that. I say Commanders go 6 and 7. Again, yeah, I'm going to stick with 6. But again, guys, Washington Commanders, they've made some moves. Risky moves. Guys that are probably on 1-year contracts. It's going to happen. They're going to be a little bit better this year. But I don't think they're going to be above 500 team. Sorry. I'm just being honest. Okay. You know me. I'm gonna stick how I feel about it. 6 wins isn't gonna be good enough for you guys to get it over the hill. You guys are gonna be in the top draft. I don't know if maybe you guys pick up, someone decent enough next year, like offensive tackle or something. I think that might be the biggest. Like I said, that line, they brought in some help, but I don't think the talent's there enough to hold up all season. I think you guys are going to need another tackle or something to bring in to help that. So, that's my thing. At least with Jaden Daniels there, which is a very good pick. You guys have him for the next 4 years because the next few quarterback classes suck. Okay, there's 1 or 2 good coming out, but the chances of getting them is not very high. So there's going to be other teams that are going to be fighting for those guys as well. But at least Jaden Daniels is one of my favorites coming in. I think he's going to be a very good asset to you guys. If you guys can build off of that, perfect. Let's get that momentum going. You know what I mean? So let's see how this season goes. Unfortunately, I'm going to be honest. I think you guys are going to end up with a top 5 pick. Top 5 picks. What does that mean? It's not going to be a very good season. That's just my guess. But I have been wrong before. As a matter of fact, all of us have been wrong before. We all thought the Rams were going to suck. And they were going to be the worst team in the NFL last year. And guess what? They surprised the living hell out of every single one of us. So, pushes over 6.5, wins it. Yeah, see, look, it's fine. We'll leave it at that. So 6 it is. Guys, this is the Washington Commanders episode. Again, we're gonna do Patriots tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's an overview video. So if you're coming in late, don't worry. It's kind of the basically bread and butter of the show is towards the end, where we kind of guess the actual record, and then we kind of add it to our playoff picture before the season to see how well we do. But again, I mentioned the names who they brought in. I mentioned the rookies that they drafted and where they're going to be in their spots, and we also brought up the depth chart on how good they're going to be and how impactful we're going to make for a dynasty, for both offense and defense. So that includes IDP. So IDP wise, I'm not going to get any of these rookies. I'm just not. I think that there still needs some more work. There's veterans ahead of them. I'm not wasting a taxi slot on these guys at all for IDP. It's just not. It just the talent level there ahead of them is still too big, and there's talent all over the league that you can get somewhere else. So again, guys, I'll see you tomorrow when we cover the New England Patriots. That one should be very interesting because they're just as confused as me. But hopefully I have a better positive attitude for them because I need to be. it's the freaking Patriots. Of course, I'm going to be biased on the day of that I'm doing the teams. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever the hell you're at. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Patriots. Again, we'll be doing dynasty questions as well. I don't mind that. I know we're talking about single teams, but it's fine. Bring them in. I don't mind. I just like dynasty, and I think dynasty where it's at, and especially IDP. If you're not doing any of those, what are you doing? Don't be coming in here as a redrafter thinking it's just too early for you guys. Go back to your caves, unless you're gonna try dynasty. Come back, but don't do it. It's too early. Things change. Things change for you redrafters. Okay, I love you guys, but Dynasty's where it's at. I'm sorry. It's man in franchise mode in real life. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's Washington Commanders episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Thanks for watching. Later.
Getting hyped when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate.